Okay, hello. My name is Shez. I work for EasyRunner, and this is a short video just to run through the Play Center functionality. Now, as a company, we have done Play sites for a number of years. So since 2005, we have managed Play facilities. We have probably over 70 installations of the Play facility functionality, and that includes a wide variety of different options for your particular Play Center. So you have examples like this. Again, is a live website. So we've been with Gambardo, for example, since 2005. So they're a long-standing client of ours, and that again is another part of our, one of the positives from the EasyRunner company. As a whole, we do have a lot of clients that have been with us for over 6 years plus, really. So some of the functionality you have in a Play sector includes obviously booking parties, which I can go through, and I can then go on and I can book a party, which I'll run through how that all works. I also have something called the registration, or the family registration. Now, the idea of this is to register the family before they attend the site. What that allows you to do from a marketing perspective is you capture everyone's information, and then when we come into the facility, your staff only have to look up my details and then potentially issue me with a entry card, a membership card, or loyalty card of some sort. You don't necessarily need to have a loyalty card, but it's something that if you want to make it even quicker for me to come back in, then that is something that you can do. So with regards to the registration, you would go through and I would register my details here, and I'm just going to run through that really quickly and put in dates. You don't necessarily need to capture house numbers and addresses and things like that. We do have a number of clients in the Middle East who do not capture email address, home addresses. So basically, the information that we capture is customizable, so we can take things out of the system. So I'm just going to enter in some information there. So enter. There we go. That's just the. There we go. And just do the search. There we go. Right, that's all there. And I fill out my information, and then what I can do is I can then add in the other family. So then I can add the mum, the children, and when I add the children, for example, I can add them in, and I would just use the same details that I have, and I can add the children in. Once I've added in the family, the system will then email me as the customer to say, hey, thanks for registering on our system. Again, when we turn up to your Play Center, what you have, this is what your staff will see. So on here they have what we call our family check-in. So the idea is it checks in a group of people, i.e. a family, very, very quickly. So I've pre-registered my family online. I come up to the check-in desk. I then tell them who my name is. They look me up on the system, and it comes up straight away. What I can do then is I have an option to give the card to the dad and say, hey, give a card to the dad, which means next time I come in, I can just present my card. Now, it could be me presenting my card, or I could have registered the nanny. I could have registered, one of the staff or something like that as well. So we do have that functionality available as well. But in this example here, I then say, okay, yep, the dad's come in with the 2 children, and then I check them in. And then when I check them in, the system works out the price. So how it works out the price. So I'm just logging into POS system now. Is based on the age of the children. So depending on the age of your children will depend on how much the system charges. So that's part of the functionality. I would then pay the money. Again, it would be in the local currency as well. So it picks up your regional settings of your PC, and that's the booking complete. And then that's the kids and the family in the facility. Now if I click on my fire report really quickly, I can see exactly who's in the building straight away. Now what I can do is I can then check them out as well. So if I do that, then the system say, yep, there they were. These are the people that were in, and I can check them out very quickly. So you know exactly what time they came in and what time they came out as well. What we also have is a security feature on the system where it allows you to take pictures of the parents and the children. So the idea behind that is the right families are leaving with the right children. So that is something that a lot of sites will use, or all of our clients in essence will use this functionality, and it is definitely something that the parents appreciate in terms of a security level as well. So again, very, very quick and easy to manage. While I'm in the system, we also have the ability to work in the cafe to do food. So I'll just log in now. And then in here, if I want to sell you some food, I can go into the cafe. I can have a panini. I can have it on a table number. So if you have table service, we can do that. I want it on wholemeal bread. I want some tomatoes. I can do all of that. I can then select. I can even add some custom text, for example. But I can add all the different orders, and then I can just pay that off. Again, very easily and very simply. And the system works out the change. What it'll also do now is send that information to the kitchen. So the kitchen then get the order, a bit like a restaurant, and then they process the order. The receipt will have the table number on it, and that's the transaction done. And also after each transaction you can set up the system so it logs in every single time. Again, just like you would do in a restaurant. So I sell you something, and then the system logs me out, and then the next person comes along and they sell you something and they log in as well. In the parties, we have what we call a party grid. So in the system, this is your outline party rooms. So these are all the different names, and we have anything in grey means you can't book a time in. Now the reason why we have that is, again, this is all customizable and configurable to your needs. But the reason you have that is if I book a party from 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock, what the operators want to do is say, hey, at 1 o'clock I cannot have another party. I need to clean up the room, I need to tidy up everything else, so maybe I need 15 minutes, or maybe I need half an hour. And in this case they need half an hour to prepare the room for the next party. And that's, you can pre-program that into the system. Now if someone wants to book a party and I'm in the facility, so I'm in the play center, I can double click a space, and the system will pop up what we call a party booking wizard. And the idea of this party booking wizard is simply that very, very quickly I can train up your staff to do parties in the system without any risks, without them getting it wrong. Because we offer parties online, which I'll run through in a second how the parties online work, which again is exactly the same as what you're going to see now, except it's on a web page. But because we make it work online, it means when you have a party in the actual application, all the questions that the system needs to ask and everything else is all done. And this is what I mean by that. So in here, I pick a party. The system gives me a description of that party. I then go next. Now the system already knows I picked the 30th because that was in the diary view. I don't necessarily need to go into the diary view to access this wizard. I can go up the top here and click on wizards and access it from here. The system then recognizes the availability, which I will then select. And then it has the upselling items. Now this works really, really well in a commercial sense, because what happens is when I book flights, for example, I book a flight and the system will say, hey, do you want extra legroom? Do you want extra luggage? Do you want a car? Do you want... All of these upsells work really, really well. And we have found over the years, when you look at the numbers, in essence, you could increase your revenue by 10 to 20% just based on this ability to upsell. So you can tell, so if I've got the customer there, I can say, yep, I want 15 people. So the system works out the costs. I can then hover my mouse over the blue button, which tells me exactly what the price is so far. And I can go through all the numbers. And then I go next. And then the system will ask me a series of questions. Now these are the questions that, as an operator, you need fulfilled. You need answers to these questions before you're able to complete the booking. And that's what our system does. And that's how your users, your staff, cannot get the parties wrong. Because again, it won't let me complete anything until that is done. So I can give the birthday of the child, which is that. I can give them a name. I can then have drop downs as well, and I can put messages in there. Now the questions you ask could be a drop down, could be an empty text box, or it could be multiple choice as well, and the system still won't let me proceed because it doesn't know who this booking is for. So then either you've registered already, which in this case I'm going to load up a record that I have already, so it links it to that record, and then the system allows me to proceed. And now it gives me a breakdown of exactly what that person is buying on here, and there's my grand total, and then I can confirm the booking, and then it's booked. It will then take me to the POS system, which there's my booking there, and I can say yes, I want to pay for that now, or I want to pay for it on the day. So if I want to pay for it now, I can then log in. Again, you don't have to have this option, we can have it log in automatically. And the system will come up with all the prices. And what I could do is charge it to their account, or I'm going to say there we go. I can even put credit on the account if I wanted to. And that's the payment for the party complete. The system will then print out a receipt, and that's the booking complete from there. And as you can see, the pound sign disappears, and that's my party booking there. And what I could do is I could move the party. So if someone calls up again, I can then go in, and then the system goes through what we call a very simple wizard, which allows you to change the party type or change the date if I wanted to again. So again, it's very, very simple. Okay, see what availability you have, and then it goes through. It then still asks me for the upsells because maybe you've increased the numbers or something like that, and then you can go through and you can complete the booking, and then the system moves the booking across. What you can also do in the grid, if I've got you over the telephone, is you can say to me, hey, I want to move my booking that I've booked today at 1 o'clock to next week, and then I can say okay, yes, no problem, and then you can see there's already availability there again by a nice neat function within the system. Now how I do a party booking online again is very, very simple. It's very, very similar, and again all our online functionality is fully integrated into your system. So again, the idea being you cannot tell at what point you left your site to go onto our site. So in here I'm going to pick a party. If I just do that again, there we go. I have my availability, which I can then select. Anything in red is fully booked, and I can then pick the slots. Again, if you remember from the wizard that I had before, it's exactly the same. And then I can go through, and then it asks the questions. It will then give me the upsells, and that's the booking complete. So this, in a very, very quick summary, is what the system can do. It can manage your parties. It can manage parties in different rooms. It can manage different themed parties with different prices. You can have registrations online. You don't have to have that option. The system will check your customers in very, very quickly and very, very simply. As well, you have the ability to take pictures, to take photos of the customers, again for a security reason. You then have the ability to have the cafe solution as well, again all inbuilt within the system itself. Okay, thank you very much.